And let's head to the Big 12. At BetMGM, Texas is plus 3.5, minus 125. Thing looks like it's about to come down to 3. At Oklahoma State, the 4-0 Pokes, number 6 in the country. And they're only laying a field goal here. No, we're under 58.5. I know that I saw a clip on Twitter of you talking about this game, so I'll let you go and dive into it. But I like just my high-level thoughts. I like some of the things that I've seen from this Texas defense. I don't like some of the things that I've seen with this Oklahoma State offense, particularly up front. And I think this is basically – look, you could just rewind what I said for the Auburn LSU game. I make this game around a pick. And so I took the 3.5. And that's basically what I did just with the 3 with the Auburn. There are some things trending in the right direction with this Texas defense in particular. So I'm back in the horns here. Hook 'em. What say you on this matchup?
Yeah, I'm with you. When Tom Herman needs this win more than anybody in the country right now, it's just things are restless in Austin right now. Herman is 3-2, but he's only covered 1 game. And, if you've been looking at off-field news and everything, the loss of Quinn Ewers, his decommitment from the 2022 class, he was the top quarterback in the class, number 2 overall per 24/7 Sports. So, he's following the path Quinn Ewers is of Tommy Brockermeyer. And you may say, who's Tommy Brockermeyer? Tommy Brockermeyer was an offensive lineman who was playing high school football in the state of Texas. Parents met at Texas. His granddad played for Texas. Brockermeyer was committed to Texas the entire time and then switched his recruitment to Alabama. He specifically cited Texas's ability to develop of player development and getting guys to the NFL. That flies directly in the face of Tom Herman. If I'm an athletic director and I've got 17-year-olds who have parents that fell in love on the campus in Austin, whose dad and granddad played for the Longhorns in the Southwest Conference, and this kid's decommitting and going to Alabama. I mean, give me some more signal here about how Tom Herman's time might be limited. So if anybody needs this game right now, Tom Herman really needs this game, and you could probably expect if they win this game, he'll be fist pumping and he'll be giving you okay, cool, and all that shit. So listen, the question on this game, really the handicap for me comes down to, can Joseph Asai get pressure on Spencer Sanders? Spencer Sanders is a much worse quarterback with hands in his face and pressure and blitz than he is when he has a clean pocket. Joseph Asai has 12 hurries, 6 hits, 3 sacks so far. The Oklahoma State offensive line, they're doing their job. Don't believe some of the, when you see stats, you go out to like CFB. I know a lot of you guys on Twitter, you ask me like, where do I get the stats? And it's a collection of like 2 or 3 different places. And like when you look at Oklahoma State's offensive line and you see sacks on them, that is not really correct because they've had backup offensive linemen. There has been plenty of time for backup offensive linemen to come in and play. If you look at just the starters, there's been no sacks and only 2 hurries the entire season when you count the snaps that are only by the 5 starters on the offensive line. So that's good news for Spencer Sanders, who has, issues with pressure. But Joseph Asai, they've got to get him blocked. If not, Texas is going to win this game. There's a case for the under here. Oklahoma State's third and finishing drives defense.
Oklahoma State defense is legit.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Texas isn't getting any love on defense, especially because of that Texas Tech game. Texas is top 30 in finishing drives D. Both Ds trump the offensive explosiveness counterpoint. So when you talk about explosive run and explosive pass, both of the defenses are going to be able to shut the other team down. So there's really a play here for the under. The wind in Stillwater here, just a couple miles outside my front door. Wind is expected to be 19 miles an hour. If you don't know anything about T-Boone Pickens, it's all going to blow in one direction. So for 2 of the quarters, we may have some kicking problems, punting problems. Wind is expected to be 19 miles per hour at the start of kick. I think there's a case for the under here, but I'm with you on the horns. I'm so hot and cold on Tom Herman these years you and I have been doing this podcast, but this is the week I hope he's celebrating after the game.
This is his rah-rah spot where you expect him to have his team up. And, Yeah, I mean, I think that you're getting some potential value here in Texas, and this line should come down to 3, 2.5, and at that point, I wouldn't play it. I mean, I
It
would play it a field goal or higher.
While you and I are recording, it actually 4, 3.5, 3, and while I was sitting here talking, it bounced back up to 3.5. I think there's a tug of war going on. I think there is a group of sharps on 4. There's a group of sharps on Oklahoma State 3. I hope we get 2.5. I'm sorry. I hope we get a good number here, but the number's bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, I just think that people are underestimating this Texas defense because of, like you said, that Texas Tech effort. But even you go back to Chris Ash and his defense in that bowl game and what Osai was able to do, they were really impressive. So I like where this Texas defense is headed. And let's get a big game from Sam Ellinger. Hook 'em.